Hello, I'm Diana Carranza, and I'm going to be showing some images of the project I worked on last semester for 501. We focus on collective housing in Boyle Heights, and my project was kind of based off of, taking, doing as much research on where it's located, kind of really analyzing the community, analyzing the neighborhood, and then kind of going from there with the design. So I focused a lot on who this building would be serving, and something that I thought was interesting about this site, which every site is unique, is the amount of street vendors that were present specifically in this little like lot, the parking lot in front of the market. And I thought that was something that I saw in this site that I wanted to embrace instead of like a problem or anything like that. And I guess that's something that I like to do with most of my projects is I kind of like doing the key findings of what I thought was significant on the site and what was something that I wanted to maybe try to tackle or try to, keep the cultural like fabric. That's something that's really important since I feel like in every project I do, I like to keep the cultural identity alive in the design. And that is what makes each one of my projects unique, is because each one is based off of that specific site. Um, that could be like in a physical way, you know, thinking about the form and how it like mirrors something on the site, or even thinking about it in a more emotional way, with color, with shadow, with patterns seen in that neighborhood, or maybe like a specific program that I want to add that I think will help people. And that program kind of reflects the entire project. So that's something that I like to focus on. And that's something that I try to do with this project. Um, like right here, the programs that I talked about that I want to reflect the community just end up being what my design entirely is like looking like, if that makes sense. I have social corridors going through in this one that kind of make the form of the building. I have a local street vendor unit that I made specifically for the street vendors that reflects entirely on the neighborhood. This is just more like diagrams of the site. And that's something that I wish I could have done better in my drawings, is kind of represent more of the neighborhood, more like texture wise, or maybe showing more images of the actual like location instead of it just being kind of blank. Even though it is a diagram, I wish I could have done that more in my renderings as well to kind of bring the site to life more. I did some like environmental design choices that I wish I feel like I had a lot going on that I was just trying to like make sure that I had something, which I ended up having like too much that I feel like clashed a little. So that's something that I would like to fix this semester instead of having a bunch of different ideas composed into one building, kind of having like a central um like idea that works with the design and also works with, how the building is ventilated or how it works with the sun, with the shadows. That's something I would like to work on as well. These are some of my renderings, which I don't think are the strongest. So that's something I would also like to fix this semester, more of my Photoshop skills. Some of my drawings for these, I think these are elevations and sections. Oh, these are just elevations. I kept it 3 stories to to complement the rest of the buildings surrounding it. I didn't want to be something that was towering over the other buildings. And then I think this is a section. So I think reflecting on this project, I guess, is I like the ideas that I had, but maybe the translation of them could be a little bit more clear, and like my overall purpose could be a little bit more clear, like having a central image diagram kind of like this one that kind of shows my main ideas and my main purpose, but in a better way, instead of it just being like some bubble diagrams over the rendering. I think I could work on that. Um, but yeah, thank you.